Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about taxes, print on demand, how you're going to be able to control your taxes for print on demand, and just a little information around it. I know some people are starting their print on demand businesses for the first time, so let's go ahead and go into this. Now, before I even begin, I'm going to give a disclaimer saying I'm not an accountant, I'm not a lawyer, I'm none of these kind of professions. If you need more information, discuss this with a professional. All this should be for entertainment purposes. Okay, so there you go. Little disclaimer, just so I can protect myself. Obviously, I'm not telling you guys to do this. I'm not telling you guys not to do this. I'm just simply sharing information. That's all it is. All right, so entertainment purposes only. So let's go ahead and get started talking about taxes. So when you're going to go ahead and create income from print on demand, whether you're using Redbubble, Zazzle, maybe you have your own Shopify store. For the most part, between all these different platforms, you're considered a contractor. You're going to receive a 1040 form from these companies at the end of the year if you are an American, U.S. citizen. If you're not a U.S. citizen, you're going to get some other form. I can't believe what it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but it's got maybe like a W in it or an 8 or a 9, something like that. Can't exactly remember what it's called, but it's out there. I mean, you guys can go ahead and search it. You're going to get the form anyway. This is mainly, obviously, for the Americans. Maybe if you're from a different country, you might have a different circumstance, but maybe this could help out. Who knows? There are going to be elements that could help out. But, however, the income that you make from print on demand, you're considered a contractor. You're essentially self-employed, or you're generating self-employed income. That self-employed income should be under, in my opinion, an LLC. And the LLC, I mean, there's a whole bunch of places where you can create LLCs. Inkfile is the cheapest for me because I'm personally partnered with them. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out, like I said. And the link in the description is going to give you my partner pricing. So you're not going to get the regular pricing that you see on the website. It's going to be the partner pricing. I'll leave the link in the description. I am a partner with Inkfile. I've done a lot of business with them in terms of creating my own accounts, creating my own businesses, things like that. So the way that I recommend that it be set up is from a LLC standpoint. When you create your LLC, it is going to be considered a disregarded entity. For those who don't know what that is, the IRS talks about what that is. And a disregarded entity is essentially the protection of having the protection of an LLC, however, being taxed as a single individual. So essentially, in regards to the IRS, you're not being taxed as a company, but you're being taxed as a person, okay? And that money that you generate as a self-employed individual, that money that you generate from print on demand, is not going to, you're not technically a corporation in the IRS point of view, but you are a corporation from a legal standpoint. Now, why do I mention this legal standpoint or the LLC and whatever? Well, the LLC, what it does is it creates a layer of protection for you as an individual selling your art. Now, why does that actually matter? Well, prime example, if you guys are familiar with Dan DeSilva. Dan DeSilva is a guy right here, great guy. He creates businesses, content, courses. He's a really good guy, right? He was involved in a business where he essentially used an image that he shouldn't have used. He didn't know he used it, but he didn't know it should not have been used, but he used it, right? And what happened is that he got sued for $30,000, and he had to cough up the $30,000. This is the court documents here. You can go ahead and read it yourself. But essentially, what it was is he was baited into using the wrong images. For all you people out there who are on Google, downloading images, stealing people's images from other websites, and putting them for your print-on-demand store, well, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get called for the same thing. Now, there is a website. I forgot what governmental website it is. I think it is... I forgot what it is, but you can essentially be sued for $30,000 per image stolen, okay? So for all the people out there that are stealing images, your time could potentially come and you could potentially be sued for $30,000. Well, once again, but you could also be sued frivolously, so it's not necessarily that, that's the case, but regardless, you want to form a layer of protection around you, okay? If you get sued, whatever is in that, essentially the assets behind that LLC is what's considered liable, not everything that you personally own. For example, if you're a business owner, let's say a 40-year-old, mom, dad, whoever you are, you have kids, you have a house, you have cars. Let's say you have the house and the cars paid off. You go to work every day and maybe you have 10,000 in the bank and you're working on your print-on-demand business, and somehow, some way, you get sued for some image or something that you should not have used. Well, guess what? You have an LLC that will protect you. Let's say you have $800 in that LLC. That's the most that they could technically sue up for. Now, there are ways around it. However, it all depends on how you structure your business and your LLC. It's very important to have an LLC. Now, the LLC, like I said, InkFile is a great way. I use my partner pricing. I don't use the actual normal pricing that they have since I am a partner, and I could pass that pricing on to you. I'll leave it in the link in the description. Now, that money that you're generating through your LLC needs to be sent somewhere. It should not be commingled or intermingled with your personal bank account. Everything should be listed. Why? Because you're going to have to do your deductions. Now, from my point of view, you can create a bank account that's online. It's very, very easy to create. And a good example is Novo. You have Ali Bank. You have a few others. There's a few others. I'll leave the links in the description to all the different bank accounts out there. The cool thing about the bank accounts that I'm listing is that you don't have to have money in there. However, if you sign up through the links in the description, you will get money just for signing up. So $50, $40, $100, depending on the actual bank account. Okay, so I'll leave those deals in the link in the description box down below. It's literally free. You just go ahead, create it. And the reason why this is all a good thing is because it's literally the 3rd of January. You have all of this year to actually create income for that account. Okay, now let's talk about deductions. So when you create this income, it's essentially self-employment income. Schedule C is what you're going to be using for your federal income tax. Now, state income tax does differ things, but you're going to be using Schedule C, Form 1040. Once again, all this is for entertainment purposes. And as a business that creates art or sits there and create art, you have expenses. Part of those expenses are paying yourself, right? So paying yourself a reasonable salary, you're going to take money from your business bank account and you're going to shovel it into your personal bank account. Now, how do you do that? You could write yourself a check. You can do a wire transfer with a little memo saying for payment, etc. You can use automated softwares that help you do that. Regardless of how you do it, you want to get it done. That is going to be considered essentially a deductible income for yourself because you're paying yourself. That is an expense, right? Another expense here, where is it here? Where are the links here? What's going on? Okay, there we go. You have other expenses. Let's say you have a section of your house that you use as an office. Well, you can deduct a percentage of your month internet bill. You can deduct a percentage of your cell phone bills. You can deduct a percentage of the light bill. All these things that are required specifically for running your business. Let's say you decide to do a partnership with somebody and you take them out to dinner because you're discussing the partnership details of the business. You can deduct the cost of taking them out to dinner. Things like that. These are all things that you can deduct against the income that you make, right? So for example, let's say you start a print-on-demand business, you're in Shopify, you're in Redbubble, all these different things, you generate $100,000 a year. Well, if you were to get taxed, you're going to lose a lot of that money, but you had expenses. A lot of the expenses, maybe you paid for ads, maybe you have an office that you pay bills for, maybe you have cell phones that you pay bills for, maybe you have softwares. This is another thing when I say about the softwares. TeePublic Tag Optimizer, you guys see it here, the Unlimited Photo Tool. All these different things are things that deduct or essentially give me money back in my account. Does that make sense? So let's just say I made $100,000 a year, and I'm not saying that I did, but let's just say that I made $100,000. Okay, and let's say out of that 100, I spend, let's say I spend, I don't know, $1,000 a month on software. Well, that $1,000 a month comes out to $12,000 a year. That can be deducted from the $100,000. So instead of me being taxed on $100,000, now I'm being taxed on $88,000, right? Because it's $12,000. So there's all these things that you can deduct. Now, once again, talk to a lawyer, talk to an attorney, talk to a whatever you call accountant, talk to the professional so that they can take care of you. This is just food for thought. That's all it is. Entertainment, right? Here are different things that you could talk about: cost of labor, cost of inventory. Maybe you bought an iPad to and that's not really considered inventory, but let's say you bought a device, an iPad, a computer, to do your art on, to do whatever on. That is a deduction. All these things are considered deductions, right, that you can reduce from the actual amount. So at the end of the day, these are all details that you can use for your benefit, all right? So for the coming new year, there are a few things that you're going to want to sort out. You're going to want to sort out where your money is coming from. You want to get it shoveled all into one business bank account, and then from that business bank account, you send money to yourself. That is for salary purposes. You were going to want to have a business bank account, or even multiple, depending on your life and your business and your choices. You're going to have an LLC. And once again, when I say the word have to have, entertainment purposes, there's no requirements. I am not a professional. Talk to your own people. But regardless, LLC for lines of protection. All right. I'll leave all the links in the description with the partner pricing and the bonus joining bonuses for the bank accounts. For example, when you join a certain bank account with my link, you will get money in your bank account. LLC, when you create the Inc. file with my partner pricing, you will get discounts. It is actually ridiculously cheap. Things like that. So I'll leave all these links in the description box down below, and hopefully this video helps out. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Bye.